Hey guys, how's it going? So we've got a few exciting things to work on today. First off, it's overcast and beautiful. It just sprinkled, a little bit of rain. And when you've just had a couple of 100-degree days, it feels like a gift. Everything gets a little bit of a break. I mean, look at these hydrangeas. This is the most glorious hedge of incredible hydrangeas ever. Look at this. So perfect. I love them. I don't think it's going to stay that way. I do see some blue sky coming, but I love starting a day off like that. It just feels so refreshing. First project today. We are expecting some people to show up here any minute to help us release more beneficial insects in our garden, much like we did last year, except we are amping up our efforts. Instead of releasing one type of insect, we're going to be releasing 3. So I'll talk about those here in a second. But the last project, if we have time after we're done with that, I want to plant some of the brand new annuals for 2025, a lot of the red types in one spot in our garden. So I'm going to be planting red in our garden, but I think it's going to be pretty. Shocker, I know. Okay, about these beneficial insects. We are working with a few companies on this project. First of all, I've been talking with Bo from Ag Idaho. He's the one who's been organizing this whole thing and figuring out what insects we need through an insectary called Copert, which we will link their website down below. So much information on their website about all kinds of different insect pests and which type of biological insect control you can use to help combat the insects that you don't want, thus eliminating the need to spray so you don't upset the ecosystem that you have in your garden. I just feel like it's such a good way to try to attack the pests that you don't want to have, because we have such a huge population of bumblebees, dragonflies, butterflies, honeybees, lots of other different kinds of pollinating flies and bees around our garden that, you know, if you spray, which I'm not against, and I talked about this last year when we did this project, I'm totally not against spraying if it's done responsibly, but when you spray for things like thrips, you're using insecticides that can also harm other insects, and you can use them at specific times of the day to really reduce the amount that you are, you know, risking honeybee population, because you can do it after they go to bed at night, that sort of thing. But if we can get away from it completely, I think that's just so awesome. So this is our second year continuing our efforts to do that. Now last year I noticed with our thrip population, we released the Swirsky mite, which is a mite you can't even see with your eyes. It's this tiny little white mite that's carnivorous, not herbivorous. So there's the 2-spotted spider mite and a few other mites that will eat your plants. They're sap suckers, just like thrips, and they're horrible. But this is a different type of mite that preys on thrips and whitefly primarily. Once that population is down, they will attack the 2-spotted spider mite. If there's nothing else available, they just eat pollen. They're not going to suck any sap out of leaves. They're not going to eat on your plants and cause any other type of problem or feed on any other kind of larva of any kind of insect that we want to actually keep. Seems like a miracle insect. So we noticed a huge amount of control from releasing those. It didn't get rid of our thrips completely, but it hugely suppressed the amount, because thrips can regenerate multiple times, many generations in one growing season. And that can get scary. I mean, population can just go like crazy. And the magpies, my goodness. Now, what in the world? I hear you. Where? There you are. Oh, there's a magpie baby. Oh, hi, little baby. Okay, I'm gonna move. Oh, that one must have fallen out of the nest. Oh my goodness, we're learning how to fly. I'm gonna move. I did not realize that I was causing such chaos over there. Okay, so there's 2 other types of insect we're gonna be releasing in conjunction with the Swirsky mite. And that is the Aureus bug. I think common name is predatory bug, which really targets the bad spider mites, and then also some lacewing eggs, which are kind of a general predator, and they really help a lot with aphid pressure, which we deal with in a smaller amount than thrips, but we still deal with it. So I don't know if it's going to be Jake, but Jake from Theravada came last year with his drone. It's a huge drone, and he attaches these vials to it where there's little holes, and as the drone flies through the air, those vials rotate and kind of shake the bugs out into your garden. And they've been mixed in these vials with either rice hulls or vermiculite oftentimes, or like little itty bitty wood shavings. So it's kind of like when you add sand to your seed to get even distribution. It's kind of the same concept. And then we're also going to be doing little packets. They're slow release packets that you can hang on affected plants. So I want to be hanging them in the dahlia area. We don't have much activity going on there, so I don't know how many thrips we'll actually have, but our rose garden definitely needs to have some. Anyway, like I said, we are going to be linking Copert down below because there's just so much information, and they are available for home gardeners. You can order them and apply them yourself. You do not have to apply them via drone. It's just easier when you've got a little bit more of an expansive space to get even coverage, but you can get a little bottle of them and you can shake them out over offending areas, or you can get little packets as well. Depending on the type of bug you're dealing with, there are different types that they will recommend you use to combat. But anyway, that's what we are going to be starting off with this morning before we do some planting, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to learning about these new bugs that are coming. Also, they have videos on their website like showing very close-up views of what these bugs look like, and it shows them feeding on the bad larvae and things like that. It's really fascinating. Okay, now we wait. They should be here anytime. Okay, well, Bo has just arrived. He did text me when he was on his way and said that we are going to do the packets today and the drone release next week. So anyway, I'm excited to see these packets. Okay, so this is Bo from Ag Idaho, and you work with Copert, right?
Yes.
The company, the insectary,
Yes.
that creates all of these things. So they grow these bugs in a lab, correct?
Yeah, it's an insectary. Some of them are in the Netherlands and some of them in California and then some in Michigan.
That's so interesting. So can you explain to us what we have right here then?
So we have Chrysopa. These are lacewing eggs and larvae, and we'll just shake those out around the plants.
Perfect.
And they are a general predator, and then they call this thripor, it's Aureus insidious, and it's just a general predator. And then we have Swirsky mite, which is for our thrip on the flowers.
In a slow release packet, so you see that little hole right there, right above the K? You can kind of see some mites moving around already, which is a good sign.
You've got 100 of them.
Oh, 100 packets. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to put these primarily in the rose areas, in the dahlia area, and then the lacewing, so they need to have a food source right there. So we'll probably do roses for this as well. And then the predatory, you said this is for
They're just
general predators. Okay. Well, we got lots of, I can see them moving in there. I might need to get a close-up with a different camera, but they are moving in there. Active. I think I can see one moving on my arm, possibly. Okay, we're gonna run around and get these put out. So I'm thinking something like, you know, we've got thrip activity in our roses. Do we need to put them low on the plant, or does it matter?
These ones, I don't think it matters.
Okay, so like we could do something even like this, kind of hide it there in the foliage, and then anywhere on any rose that we've got. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so rose garden is probably the highest concentrated area of thrips, and you can see, let me find, so I can show everybody what thrip damage looks like. I know I've got some right here. Thrip damage right here. See how it makes the buds look all weird? And if I shake one of these, any of these roses, there'll be thrips in them. So anyway, I think if we do most of the packets here, we'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Samantha, these are full of bugs right here.
Yep, and they just slowly come out of that little hole.
Thrips are gonna go bye-bye.
Good jumping.
Okay, we're trying to get the packets sort of lowish in the plant so that they're shaded a bit. Can you see them in there?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I can see him.
Yep. Okay, I filmed a little bit while Bo was here, and I'm not sure exactly what we captured, so I thought we would run back through these things that he dropped off, and I'll show you close up how we are attaching them to the plants. The thing about these is that they're pretty much ready to go. Like, they need to have some food in order to stick around. It's kind of like when you release ladybugs. If there's nothing for them to eat, they will leave and go look for something else to eat. So it's almost one of those things that you can't do preventatively because there has to be food present for them to want to stay. So there are these little Swirsky mite packets, which I think these are such a brilliant idea and so easy to go out and apply. So if you take a look at this packet here, there's a little slit right above that K. And I don't know if you can see the little like dust around the slit. It's kind of like a cream color. Those are mites. They're already starting to come out, and this is a slow release packet. They will emerge over the course of about 3 weeks. So what you do is you find a shady spot on the plant, you attach it to a branch and they will just leave that packet. And Bo said that the mites would stay pretty much on the plant where you put the packet. So they'll really concentrate here and take care of this rose. So that is where we are going to be putting most of these. We'll attach one of these to every single rose we have out here. I was planning on using some of these in the dahlias, but there's no dahlia flowers yet. There's no thrip activity over there yet. So hopefully if we get the thrip activity taken care of over here, they won't migrate over once the dahlias are kind of going for it. This is a little too high on the plant. Hey bud, Benjamin's helping me. We need to put these in shady spots, like underneath, like right here. Yeah, and then what Benjamin has here, these are chrysopa. These are a lacewing. These are lacewing eggs. So you just shake in. Bo showed you how to do it. Shake it on the top of the plant. Yep, and those will go feed on, they're kind of a general predator, but they help out with aphids and thrips. And then what's the other one we've got here? This is aureus. This is a predatory bug, which is a general predator. So they'll do thrips, aphids, all that kind of thing. So look at that. You see them? They're coming out already. So you'd want to take them and just do like one of these. Just a little shake out over the plant. Ooh, this one's bad. Look at that. Look at the damage on this one.
Yep, I'm definitely putting these toxic bugs on there.
Those aren't toxic that you're putting on. You are getting rid of the toxic bugs with good bugs, bud.
There, that should do.
Good job. See how they're kind of mixed in there with vermiculite? Kind of helps spread them around a little more evenly. We want to put some of these on these snapdragons as well, bud. Snapdragons over here are always a magnet for thrips. Bless you, baby. Thanks for your help, dude. So this right here is the way that most home gardeners, I imagine, would be applying this sort of insect, not with a drone like we're going to be doing next week, which I think, I mean, we did film that last year, so we might just put some of that footage in this video so you can see what that's like. And that's for, usually what they're using that for is big crop sort of applications, you know, big fields of alfalfa or corn, not home garden sort of situations typically. So it's really cool that you can order these sorts of things and they grow the bugs right there in the lab, kind of on demand when you need them, and then ship them out to you. Look at that. They're already crawling. This is so awesome. This is one of my favorite roses out here, the Golden Celebration. Ooh, Fun in the Sun looks beautiful too. Look at this. Beautiful. Good job.
They will be killed. Right, Mama?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try to see what is inside of this?
It's like little holes of some kind. Do you know why they do that?
Why?
Because those lacewing eggs are so small that it's hard to spread them evenly. But if you add them in with something else that's got more bulk, they can mix around in that bulkier stuff and then they spread easier and more evenly. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to work on just getting the rest of these packets applied and the lacewing eggs spread out. So much fun. Huge thank you to Bo and also to Copert for sending these things out for us to try.
This is a little better, the bugs.
Oh.
See them a lot better.
Oh yeah, you can. I see it moving around in there. I know this camera's not the best close-up detail, but...
Yeah, you can see the
Mm-hmm.
little bugs that feel like it.
All right. Here we go. right, guys, we got them all applied, and those stretched way further than I thought they were going to. I hit all the key areas where I've noticed any kind of activity, minus maybe like a couple rose bushes on the east side of the house. But next week when they bring the drone through, we'll be able to do a little bit more full coverage. But I love being able to try out these packets because I think that having a slow release sort of situation is maybe even more of a solid way to do it, because it's just a little bit slower and less abrupt maybe on the bugs. I'm not sure, you know, how it all works, but like all the roses over here have the packets hanging on the inside of the shrub. I tried to reach in as far as I could and get them a little bit low and a little bit shaded so the bugs could kind of crawl out and up the plant, but I'm just so excited about it. And maybe at the end of this video, we'll toss up some of the drone footage from last year when we applied the mites via drone, because that's what we're going to be doing next week. We probably won't film it again because I think we got some really good footage of it last year. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go load up the gator with some red annuals, mostly things that are new for 2025. I might pair them with some blue and white. I'm not sure exactly. But I've got a spot out in the south garden, kind of where we just pulled out the sumacs, where I've got, is it called Cheyenne Spirit or Cheyenne Sky? I can't remember, echinacea. They're a very warm blend of colors, so oranges, reds, kind of apricots in that color family. And I thought, you know what, we may as well just go with it in this space, and I can use this space as my warm section, and we can plant some of these new things, because most of the time I don't put a lot of red in my garden, as you know, because I use a lot of soft colors and pinks, and red kind of is a little bit jarring when you add that in. But if we have it in a specific pocket out there, I think it'll be fun. I'm also excited to see what the hummingbirds think. We've got quite a lot of hummingbird activity, and they've been wild this year. One of them grazed my face the other day. I was standing right toward the end of this brick walkway, and there was one just dive bombing. It would go up, and then it would come back down, kind of in this arc back and forth. And as it was coming down one of the times, it just flew right by my face. I've never had one get that close, but they are getting into the greenhouse, and they're just all over the place. And I think that red is a very attractive color to them, so I'm excited to see what they think of it. Oh my goodness, you guys, listen to this. Rain. My goodness. Oh, I love rain like that, because not only does it give us a bit of a reprieve from watering, especially those newly planted in-ground annuals that haven't rooted in yet, and so drip system isn't quite enough to get them by with an every other day watering, so we have to supplement all the time. Anyway, it kind of gives us a reprieve from having to do that today, but it also washes everything off. It makes everything fresh. I love it, and it looks like the majority of the storm is past, and we've got some blue sky coming. So I don't know if we're gonna actually get out there and plant. I don't know how wet it got. My mom texted me down from the garden center, which they're like a few minutes away from our house, and she said they got hail down there, and it sounded like hail underneath the high tunnel, but I don't think we got that. But whether or not we plant today or tomorrow morning, we can at least go over these gorgeous plants. 4 of these are brand new varieties for next year, 2025. Including this one right here. And I know this is a huge stretch for me to be planting all of this red right here, but this is a new salvia, and I think the hummingbirds are going to love it. It's called Unplugged Red. Grows about 1.5 to 2 feet tall, about 1 foot or a little more wide. But my goodness, it's almost like a like a watermelon-y red color. Kind of like on the pink side. I don't know if I'm just trying to imagine that, but definitely the more aged blooms have more of a pink color to them. And then we have one, let me pull one of these out. Right here. This is a type of Kufia. Oh, hey baby girl. Hello. Do you love the rain? Yeah, found an umbrella, that's awesome. Yeah, that was really nice. Anyway, this is a new Kufia, which looks completely different than the other Kufias that I am familiar with. It's called Totally Tempted Richly Red, and it grows about 16 or so inches tall, maybe a little bit shorter, so it'll be a good second layer to the unplugged red. How wide does this get? About 12 to 18 inches. But I think it's got a really interesting look to it based on the Vermillionaire Kufia is the one that I'm familiar with, and it's got skinnier leaves and very tube-shaped blooms that are not as showy as this. Like this still has the tube that comes out, but then it's got petals on the outer part of it, and I just think they're so neat. Look at them when they're in mass. Like they're very striking while still having some of that deep purple color in there, so it kind of visually reduces the temperature of that red. And then we have a new dahlia. I do not have a tag for this one, but it's labeled Virtuoso Classy Carmine. Look at that deep burgundy. I think that this one is going to be such a beautiful bold in the middle of all the rest of this more wispy sort of color. And these are a small stature dahlia. They don't get super big. And then we have another salvia that I thought I'd kind of mix in with the unplugged red called Unplugged White. And this one is just pure white, bright blooms with that sagey green foliage. So look at the difference here. Look at the foliage on the unplugged red versus the unplugged white. Isn't that interesting? I think they're going to get roughly the same size, so mixing these in the same layer will probably work out really well. But they're just so vibrant and eye-catching, and they go real well with the red. And these are two older varieties, but I think I'm going to tuck them in alongside the rest of these because I think that they kind of make this look complete. This is a Nemesia called Bluebird, and I think that bluish purple color looks beautiful with the red. And then lemon coral sedum, and I just have a handful. I have 6 of those plants left over, so I thought we'd do maybe a little pocket of each of these toward the front of the bed, but it's going to be a pretty look, I think. What are you doing?
We have water.
We have water in the back?
Yeah.
Nice.
All the frost frees are working.
Oh, that's awesome. Pedro's crew's out there working in the rain.
Yeah.
We have water in multiple ways today.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were joking about that.
Were you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Think this is going to green up out here?
It smells like wet straw.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we might take these out and size up the situation out in the lawn. Okay, here we are in the area where the sumacs were. You can see these echinacea right here, how we've got some real warm colors, the real bright orange. There's some pink mixed in too, pink and yellow, red right here. So I thought because we don't have pink for a little while, there's pink echinacea down there, but we've got Cat's Meow Nepeta, which needs to be cut back. But if we just packed this area out, we've got Russian sage, which is purple, so that would look nice. We have all the way until our Stand By Me clematis, where we don't have any competing or fighting colors in terms of light pinks or something that would look kind of bad with the red. And the wonderful thing is that they're annuals, so we can try it out, see how it goes, and yeah, go from there. Oh, everything looks so good right now. Oh my goodness, look at that. The fresh drops of rain on the leaves. Oh, I love it so much. I will not be surprised though if the wind, I can see the tops of the trees, if it starts picking up here, because we're dealing with a 15-degree drop in temperature, I think, from right now until tomorrow. So that usually means wind. At least we got some rain before it though this time. Okay, so I'm gonna lay all of this out in here, then we're gonna plant it. right. It's all laid out. I think it's gonna work. I was able to go all the way down to the Stand By Me clematis, and I changed up the kind of order of plants along the way because I've got quickfire tidbit hydrangeas in here, which, you know, bloom white. They're starting to bloom. So I tucked in some of the kufia around those with just the lemon coral sedum. So that'll be just a very nice clean look. And then bridged kind of the gap with the bluebird nemesia, and then started in with the rest of everything. Putting one more group of nemesia right here in front of this echinacea, but oh my goodness, it's gonna be bright. Let's get them in the ground. All planted. I gotta say, I'm excited to see this one fill in. I think having the bright white toward the back is really nice because it adds just that pop and that sparkle. And I think also having the kufia in between the bright red salvia and the deep red dahlia is a perfect blend. Because if you look here at this deep color, you'll see a mirror of that deep color in the middle of these blooms and a mirror of the bright color in those blooms. They just really go well together. And then there's our little group of nemesia, and then this is a very peaceful look right here, I think. Just the kufia, hydrangeas, and lemon coral sedum. And of course, the Stand By Me clematis. Looking gorgeous. I did not stake these up, so this is what they do when you don't stake them. I actually have a feeling that I'm going to like this spot better than this spot, only because of the echinacea. Isn't that funny? I brought all of these over here because of the warm color of the echinacea. I don't know, maybe it'll be awesome all together. I was noticing down the way, because these are all echinacea that I started from seed, I must have got this one all messed up with my echinacea purpurea, because that's awful orange too. So I need to make a note to dig this one out and move it over to the other patch. And also I started these penstemon from seed. Aren't they beautiful? We need to cut back that geranium. Oh my goodness. But this is just gorgeous. And this also has a kind of warmth to it. Love that. And you guys, that is gonna do it for our project today. Boy, with that rain that came through, it made it very humid out here, very, and muddy. It was interesting planting, but boy, it's so nice for the plants. I'm just thrilled. So we will be giving you progress reports on how these plants are doing, how they fit in, how they're looking with everything else, and just check on their growth rate and how many flowers they have and all of that, because they're mostly new varieties. Also at this point, now that we're done with our project, we'll probably toss some of the footage from last year when they did the drone drop of the beneficials so that you can kind of see what we're going to expect next week. And we might film a little bit of that too, but I don't know, I kind of want to show you the whole project, the scope of the whole project today, since we just were able to apply so many. And again, a huge thank you to both Bo and Copert for making the beneficial insect application happen. We will link the Natural Enemies website as well as the Copert website so you can read up more about that, and we will share about that journey as well later on down the road, show you how things are going and such. I just heard thunder in the distance. What a fun day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.